What hair?
Hey, come on, give me some credit.
So my name is Mr. Mertens. I teach English here at Baird. We can go around really quickly to do a short introduction. Later on, everyone will be able to talk a little bit longer. But rest of the fifth grade team, would you guys like to jump in and say your name real quick?
Sure. Go ahead, Mr. Luna. Go ahead, Mr.
The
Luna.
most handsome PE teacher that you'll ever have in the fifth grade.
I'm Mr. Carey, and I'll be your math teacher next year. Really excited to meet you guys.
I'm Mrs. Alvarado. I'm your social studies teacher, and I'm super excited to see all of you on here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Jensen, and I'll be teaching you science this year for fifth grade.
Thank you, guys. So here's a little presentation. Here's a picture of us. We're your fifth grade team. It was kind of weird writing those years in. I'm Mr. Mertens. There's Mr. Carrion, Mr. Luna, Miss Jensen, and Mrs. Alvarado. So right off the bat, what do you need to buy for next year? Well, if you can stick with a sturdy backpack, preferably something that has like a strong handle that won't break, that would be perfect. Also a pencil pouch to be kept inside the backpack. A few extra pens, the colors blue, black, red would be great. Some pencils and a highlighter. A water bottle would be awesome, especially in Fresno, beginning, end of the year, especially. It'd be great if you could label the laptop, your cord and water bottle, with your name, especially those cords. They have a tendency to, get lost. So this is real short, what to buy. We're providing everything else. This is actually the first year that we're going to be doing this. The Baird binder is very important at Baird, but this year, going into next year, we're going to be purchasing everything for you guys. That way we know that it's put together correctly. So don't worry about buying a binder. Don't worry about buying the tabs. The stuff that we would normally have on the supply list, we're simply going to buy for you guys. That way everything is uniform, ready to go from the beginning. I noticed in the main session that they talked about the volunteer form. So I threw this slide in there really quickly. If you can fill this out as soon as possible, that'd be awesome. It's really a game changer to have parent volunteers back in the classroom. I know I use parent volunteers for doing reading groups at different times throughout the year for small group reading. Miss Jensen, she also has parent volunteers for labs sometimes, including the pancake lab, which is not only very intense learning, but a whole lot of fun and tasty as well. So if you can kind of, reach out to Ms. Reeve, see what we can get going for those volunteer forms. It'd be great to have that, towards the beginning of the year, so we can hit the ground rolling with the volunteer form. Are you guys able to add people from the lobby? Fifth grade, is there any, or do I have to do that?
No, I've done it a few times.
Okay, so we're good.
I got you. I'll do it.
Sweet, thank you. In fifth grade, just like, all of the grades will correspond to the mastery of grade level skills and content in each class. There are differences in our standards, right? Some of them are more skill-based standards, some of them are content-based standards. So at back to school night, that's where you're really going to see a lot of details regarding grading. But what's really important for us is that students exemplify the Baird way. We know that we have the pillars of success, but for Baird, especially for our incoming fifth graders, we try to really cement in the idea of the Baird way. Where B stands for be prepared, A stands for achieve academically, I stands for include everyone, R, respect yourself, your school, and others, and D is do the right thing. The first week of school, this will be a main focus of all of our instruction to make sure that students understand the Baird way. And this year, we're actually changing the way that we do citizenship so that we have 5 different measures of citizenship rather than the regular 3. So what you'll see, not only will you receive an academic grade, but you'll receive a citizenship grade that is arguably more important than the academic grade because it really reflects the choices that you're making each and every single day. There will be rewards attached to this. Students who earn all O's or as outstanding citizenship will receive the highest honors at award ceremonies. So even above your straight A's principal honor roll list, it's really about our citizenship, everybody exemplifying those outstanding behaviors. Some of the rewards might include 3D printed trophies, Jamba Juice, extra recess, movie and popcorn date, that kind of stuff. We really believe, we talked about this a lot this year, especially that the best reward should be reserved for students who exemplify the Baird way each and every day. So that's why we're really trying to, hone in on the citizenship and make sure that we're rewarding students for the right types of things. Ms. Alvarado, would you mind kind of like jumping in, elaborating a little bit on that, why we really focus in on citizenship in 5th grade?
Well, it kind of, when we look at the pillars of being a good citizen, it's about being trustworthy and responsible, doing the right thing even when it's hard, getting your work turned in on time, asking for help when you need it, and just kind of self-advocating for yourself and taking care of just everything you need to be successful. And so we're going to try to change things up this next year. And we really want to reward those kids who are doing outstanding, regardless if what your grades may be. All the traits of just being a good person. And we really want to honor and highlight those kids this next year a little more than we have in the past. So we're going to put a bigger emphasis on the citizenship this next year.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Alvarado. That was awesome. At Baird in 5th grade, all the grades, we really focus in on some big projects that lead us throughout the school year. The first one's going to be a book project that's due at the beginning of the first progress report period. This is a book that you'll need to read either over the summer or within that first progress report period. So those first 4 weeks of school. So this is actually something that's pretty important to take note of if you're watching right now. Choose a book, a chapter book, something, couple hundred pages that you are interested in, something that you're excited to read, not something that you feel like, oh, if I read this, it's going to make me smarter, but something that actually interests you, something that you actually want to read, that you're excited to read. Because at the beginning of the year on that 4th week, you guys are going to be sharing book projects with your classmates. There's a whole bunch of different options, and you're going to receive a paper copy of this as well. So it's not worth trying to read through the entire thing, but it could be anything like a diorama, one of those hanger spinny things, a wanted poster, a collage, paper mache, like a whole bunch of different stuff. It could be a book talk. So that'll be kind of the first thing right out the gate to start thinking about right now. Just try and get a good book, something that you'd like to read, and think about what you wanted to make as far as that book project goes. If you wanted to do something that's not on the list, that's totally fine. Just make something that shows that you read the book, you understood the book, and ideally it would help other students realize that that might be a book that they would want to read as well. So that's definitely something, if you guys can really remember that, is to choose a book and be prepared for a book project to be turned in the first few weeks of school. We also have the Three Sisters planning, and you guys are going to track the growth of corn, beans, and squash. Ms. Jensen, would you want to jump in and explain kind of how this one works?
Absolutely. So this is one of the projects that a lot of kids really love. Gardening is super fun for me and for a lot of other students. So the first week we actually go out into the ag department and we get to plant the Three Sisters, corn, beans, and squash. And then once a week after that, for the first quarter and a little after, we'll go out and measure their growth of the tallest plants. And then we basically learn how to chart them. We'll learn about why they work well together. It ties in a little bit of history because the Native Americans historically planted those three together. So this one does go across the different subject areas, and it is a lot of fun. So you guys will enjoy that for sure. And then we were talking about possibly even if we got enough produce out of it, selling some of it at the fall festival. So we're going to try to work that out with our ag teacher this year. Hopefully we can make that a reality. We'll try our best, but that's going to be really fun, and I can't wait to do that with you all.
Great, thanks, Ms. Jensen. Yeah, it's really cool back there in the back of the school to see all of those raised beds, tons of plants. You go out there right now, it's just amazing how much stuff is growing back there. Thanks again, Ms. Jensen. Mr. Carrion, would you want to talk a little bit about Ethnic Eats?
Absolutely. Ethnic Eats has been a project that we've done at Baird for lots of years. It's frequently cited by students who leave Baird as one of their favorite memories of Baird. And what we do is we ask you guys to take a food that's an ethnic food from your family, and you're going to do a little report on it. You're going to interview a family member about how you make it, why it's important to your family and your heritage. And you'll take pictures of the process of making it. And the culmination of this activity in the past has been during our fall festival. We've actually, made this food for families and brought families in to try each other's foods. It's been really fun. Obviously, for the last few years, we've been unable to do it, but we're crossing our fingers and really hoping that we can do this again and get back to normal. But it is a really fun project. Obviously, making recipes involves math, ethnicity, your heritage involves your history and social studies. The writing involves, English, so it's across lots of subject areas in our fifth grade. So really hoping you guys have a lot of fun with that.
Thanks so much, Mr. Carrion. We also spend all together, kind of like Mr. Carrion was saying, that some of these projects really cross over content areas. We'll take weeks or certain different parts of the school year and really hammer in the most essential parts of the concepts related to these projects. One that we started actually doing this year was the first year that we did was recognizing Wildfire Week due to the, last couple of years especially. It was important to, share what we kind of know about wildfires. That's another kind of a larger project. Students this year actually wrote letters to people, decision makers that might be able to actually influence this kind of legislation. They reached out to agencies that would organize cleanup events to be able to go out there and physically help clear out some of the forests. So that'll be something also with Wildfire Week. Ms. Alvarado, would you mind talking about the cultural doll and the state projects?
Yep, would love to. Hi, fifth graders. So in teaching U.S. history, we kind of look at what brought people to this North America. We look at, we have you interview your own family and try to research who was the first person in your family to come to North America and how did they get here and why did they come. And in doing that, I have you interview family members, preferably the oldest one that's still living that you can kind of talk to because the way they lived is so different than you. So we had a lot of kids who were lucky enough to maybe have some grandparents still alive. And if not, just another relative, but there's a list of questions that you ask and it kind of gives you, a lot of kids learn a lot of new things about their family. And I've had a lot of emails from parents that they also learned a lot from their parents, which is going to be your grandparents. It could be other relatives as well, but you're going to do some research. You're going to choose one culture from your family because a lot of us are a mixture of many, but you can pick one and learn a little bit more about that culture. And then I give you this little clothespin. If any of you have read the story Molly's Pilgrim, you might be familiar, but you get this little clothespin and you just dress it in traditional dress. They're really cute. It's this little wooden stick, and when you guys bring it back, they are just beautiful. It's a board I leave up in my room all year. And then we also go into Native Americans, and that's where Mrs. Jensen brings in the three sisters of the Native Americans. We grow those three plants together. It's called companion planting. So when they're grown together, they actually make each other stronger and healthier. And then at the end of the year, And we hope that, things will return to normal. We usually have a fall festival where families come, and part of the standards with fifth grade is that you learn about your states and capitals. And instead of a state report, you guys kind of build a float. So this has been like legendary at Baird. We haven't done it the last 2 years or so. But all the things you would traditionally put on the state report, like the flag, the flower, the state tree, the state motto, you would put it on a float. And when I say a float, it could be like a wagon that's kind of decorated. Anything mobile, it could be some kids have used like a shopping cart with permission. But anything that you can push or carry, or not carry, but put on. And anyway, it's incredible. At back to school night in the fall, I will show you pictures of prior projects, but it's a lot of fun. And then the kids can dress up in historical costumes or things related to their state. And we have this big parade at the festival. We play patriotic music. I dress up as the Statue of Liberty. Miss Shaluna is Uncle Sam. And you guys wave flags, and we parade around the campus, and it's a blast. We end the year with that. So I always end the year with the states and capitals. But those are some of the larger events. Mr. Caring's Ethnic Eats goes in with our immigration unit. And so we try to kind of interweave projects, but we space them out. It's not a ton, so don't worry, parents or kids. But there are some projects at home that you guys will be working on. But it's a great time, and at the end of the year, we just hope it kind of reflects, all that you've learned throughout the year.
Sweet. Thanks so much, Mrs. Alvarado. And Mr. Luna, I was hoping maybe you can talk about a couple of things first, unless you think it's going to terrify our students. If you wanted to tell them a little bit about the maybe like PE testing towards the end of the year, but then also if you can explain Block 8, especially, your Block 8, and a couple of the other ones that you know of at school.
Well, sure, I'd love to. Okay, well, as far as PE goes, guys, it's probably going to be a little bit different than what you're used to in elementary school. Because you guys have, we've already talked about how we're a middle school and how you're expected to behave as middle school students. And that kind of goes back to the citizenship thing we were talking about, as how you're expected to follow the Baird way. And we think that's really important in fifth grade, is because we want to set the tone for the rest of your years at Baird. So we think it's really, really important that you guys start off on the right foot and you guys follow the proper behavior and you do the procedures and the things that are going to be necessary for you to be a successful student at Baird. And following the Baird way helps us to get you ready for the rest of the school year and the rest of the year, the rest of your career at Baird. So as far as PE goes, as I was saying, it's going to be a little more regimented than what you're used to. So because Baird is standard based, there's certain things I need to test you guys on that the state mandates. So in order for you guys to test well on that, for example, if I was your math teacher and I never showed you how to do times tables, and then I gave you a test on times tables, I wouldn't be a very good teacher because I didn't prepare you for that. So of course, the PE tests involve tests that are going to measure your body strength and your cardiovascular capacity and your flexibility. So in order for me to prepare you for those, we're going to work out, we're going to stretch, and we're going to run daily. So PE is something that's going to be a little more difficult than what you're used to, but the thing I want to stress is that PE is probably the class that you're going to love the most at Baird, because while it's going to be very, very difficult and you're going to push yourself to your physical limits, I guarantee you that when that stuff is done, you're going to have some of the most fun activities you've ever done at Baird. We don't do traditional sports. I'm not going to teach you how to play basketball or baseball or football. You guys all know how to play that stuff. We're going to do sports that are non-traditional and that you're going to love, so that somebody who's never played that sport can be just as good as somebody who's played baseball their whole life and is really good at some other sport. So we're all going to start at the same level, and we're all going to work really, really hard to better ourselves. And that includes learning ways to live better, whether that's eating better or whether that's just choosing the proper activities to make you a better person. Because one of the things that I take really, really seriously in my class is that becoming better at PE and building a cardiovascular capacity helps you focus better. So believe it or not, getting better at PE is going to make you better across the subject areas. You're going to be able to read better. You're going to be able to focus better. You're going to be able to concentrate better. And that's part of the thing that I take pride in my job, is that what I do has hidden effects. I'm going to make you better students by making you run every day, believe it or not. And we're going to have fun because after we're done running and after we're done exercising, we're going to play the most fun games you've ever played in your life. So look forward to PE, guys. Oh, one more thing. Block A. This is where teachers get to do something that they consider fun. So when you get to block A, you're going to get to do some of the teachers' hobbies. So for example, one of the things I like to do is golf, but of course we can't golf at Baird, but I also like to throw a Frisbee a lot. So one of the classes that I do for block 8 is disc golf. So if you've ever played golf and you like that, or if you've ever thrown a Frisbee and you like that, block 8 is nothing but fun classes. So for example, there's a Minecraft game. There's outdoor sports. If you like playing football or baseball, you're going to have that opportunity to engage in organized sports during block 8. So they're all structured classes, but they're all really, really fun. So you'll get a chance to do art. You get a chance to do puzzles. You get a chance to cook food and eat it. So there is a lot of fun things to do block 8. So one of the things that we feel that makes Baird what it does, what makes Baird a great school and what makes Baird a place that people want to be at, is that at a certain time, we get to do something that makes us happy. And it's also going to make you very happy because it's going to be very fun. So, everybody's talking about how excited they are to see you guys and meet you guys. Well, you guys should be really, really excited also to come see what we do here at Baird, because I guarantee you guys, every one of you guys is going to cherish your years at Baird. We have what's called a reunion every year for kids that have come to Baird and are now seniors in high school. We have a great turnout because kids remember their years at Baird and they love their years at Baird, as the way I'm sure you will.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Mr. Luna. And I know, guys, that kind of running a lot doesn't sound fun, but I promise you there's not a more fun person to do it with than Mr. Luna. Okay. He will make it so enjoyable for you guys. We have a couple more slides and then we're going to go kind of individually, just talk a little bit about ourselves, and then we will get out of here. I know a couple of us have dinner calling our name. We want to reiterate that, this is middle school where you have the responsibility of a middle school student. This means keeping up on your own grades. A lot of students come into Baird not knowing what Atlas is, but you're going to become very familiar with Atlas very quickly. Your grades are posted in Atlas. It's not in Teams. You'll be wanting to check Atlas about once per week. In Atlas, you're able to email your teachers with questions about specific assignments. It needs to be something like, hey, how can I improve this specific assignment? Not so much like, hey, how do I get my grade up? We also have academic support time where you're able to get help. That's our next slide. You'll get familiar with your Outlook email because that's where we'll respond to you. But all that kind of stuff we can focus more on at back to school night. Between the planner and Atlas, you should know what's happening in the classroom, right? Like between what every student every day will write in their planner, what their homework is. In Atlas, you'll be able to see the grades that are posted. Between the planner and Atlas, that's our number. That's our combination. That's a very powerful communication tool, and it should cover our bases. Again, we'll talk more about that at back to school night, along with academic support time. That's that time before school. Great time to get help on homework, share some ideas with your, or get help on the ideas in the class with your teachers and redo your assignments. So get used to using that. Now we'll go in alphabetical order by last name. Ms. Alvarado, you want to kick us off just about you and whatever you want to say?
Get to know me. So hi everybody. I tried my best to make school as fun as possible while learning at the same time. Just a little bit about me, and I'll go more into detail at back to school night. I've been teaching quite a while, and I've taught all grades from either student teaching or teaching kindergarten through 8th grade. The only grade I haven't done is 2nd. And out of all the grades, my favorite is 5th for a lot of reasons. I kind of feel like it's that year where you start to get really independent and you realize you have a mind of your own and you kind of start to let go of mom and dad, and you really start to, take care of your own business and doing your homework and advocating for yourself and asking questions. And 5th graders still love to do everything. You'll notice when we're at Baird, 5th grade through 8th grade, 5th grade is the grade that just is really enthusiastic and gets involved and has a great time. I have 3 daughters. myself, and it seems like just yesterday they were in 5th grade, and in a blink of an eye, they have now just all graduated college. So my youngest just graduated, and my older 2 have great jobs. They're self-sufficient. They pay their own way, and my youngest is now going off to law school, and I just can't thank the school of where my kids went to. My kids had really great teachers and mentors along the way. So we're kind of hoping that the teachers at Baird can be that for all of you. And I'm just looking forward to having a great year with you and teaching you great things about U.S. history. And I have a dog, Roxy, who's at my feet. You can't see her, but she's the love of my life too. Wherever I'm at, she's at my feet. But anyway, super excited to see all of you.
All right, so I'm next. So my name is Miss Jensen, everybody, and I do teach 5th grade science. It's the best thing to teach. I have so much fun with everybody every year. We learn through, of course, some reading, some projects, and my favorite, hands-on labs. I do at least 1 lab a week, pretty much consistently. It's a blast. You guys will learn how to design experiments, what makes the components of a good experiment, data. We'll learn about integrated topics. So you guys will learn a little bit of chemistry in quarter 1, and then we'll go into biology quarter 2, and then earth science. And then actually the last one is my favorite, which is physics and space science. I absolutely love teaching that one. And then throughout the year, I will also be teaching you engineering, which is more of like a strategy for designing solutions to problems. And we'll be doing a bunch of fun challenges, like building a tower or a bridge that can hold the most weight, that sort of thing. So my class is super fun. I absolutely love teaching it, and a lot of kids really enjoy learning with me. Teamwork is a big deal in my room because they do work in groups. So while you guys are graded individually, you will be working together a lot. And so we do work a lot on, making sure that everybody's having their turn and having their say in what needs to be done. So that's a big deal in my room as well. So a little bit about me. I love hiking at the river. That's probably my favorite activity. I have a garden at home. So a lot of the things we do in the garden is just things that I'm already doing at home. And I have a lot of pets. That's a fun fact about me. I have 4 dogs and 5 cats, some parakeets, some fish. So we're busy here at my house, but it's the best time ever. And I can't wait to meet you all and get to know you all and have a great year learning science together.
We can't hear you, Paul.
Sorry about that. My name is Mr. Carrion. I'm going to be your math teacher next year. Super excited to meet you guys. I'm going to try to make math fun. We're going to go deep into math, maybe deeper than you've ever been. Really, really, really excited to get to know you guys and teach you math next year. A couple things. I'll save some of them for back to school night and more personal stuff. But this summer, what I would ask everybody to do to get ready for math next year is to just hone in on your math fluency, do some, especially multiplication, make sure you know your facts. Do you know 5 times 3, 7 times 6, 8 times 4, those kinds of things. If you know those and you're really good with those, it's just going to make life a lot easier for you. So if those are things that kind of like, whoa, I don't really know those off the top of my head right now, you've got a little while till you start with me. I would recommend that you download an app, to get some flashcards, practice with a parent or a friend. Just do some practice through the summer so you get a little bit more familiar with those, and those become easier for you and you become more fluent. If you come into school knowing those a little bit better, math is just going to be a lot more fun and a lot easier for you. So the rest I'll save for back to school night, but I'm really excited to get to know everybody and to start next year.
All right, I guess I'll jump in now. And as you probably already know, I'm Mr. Luna, and I will be teaching PE. And I can guarantee you that everybody talks about how much fun their class is. You will not have more fun than my class. We have a blast. Like I said, it's a lot of hard work, and I have to prepare you guys for tests, and we're going to probably do some really strenuous activities. But when we're done with that, I guarantee you guys are going to play some games that you're really, really going to enjoy. and you're going to really love PE. Now, one of the things that I need to prepare you for is that we're middle school PE. So you don't have to have a combination lock the first week of school. We're going to give you time to get one of those, but I will be asking you to purchase a combination lock. And here's the big shocker. You're going to have to change into clothes in front of some of your friends. So that means that you're going to be stripping down to your underwear and you're going to be putting on PE clothes. And the first couple of weeks, a lot of kids get really squeamish and they go into bathrooms and it's kind of fun to watch. But what cracks me up the most is that probably by the 4th or 5th week of school, kids are stripping down in front of each other like they've done it their whole lives. So that'll be a lot of fun. And this sounds weird, but I have to kind of watch you, but I'm not really watching, but I have to supervise. So I'll be in the locker room watching you guys dress, but not really watching you guys dress, but watching you guys dress to make sure that inappropriate things aren't going on. And then of course, we'll go out and exercise and have a really, really good time. But as I was saying, guys, we're going to work hard, but we're going to have a lot of fun at the same time. As you can already tell, we're already laughing and having a good time. That's my class in a nutshell. We're going to laugh and we're going to exercise because believe it or not, laughter is a very, very small form of exercise. So anyway, I look forward to having all of you guys in my class and I guarantee you, you're going to love Baird.
Right. Well, I'm Mr. Mertens. Just real quick about me. I've been in Fresno Unified for 12 years. It's kind of weird to say. It's my 6th year. Next year will be my 6th year at Baird. I teach English. I also do a lot of other stuff. My blockade's about Minecraft. So if you guys play Minecraft, we won the Fresno Unified Championship this year, the Esports League. We were able to build this lighthouse using redstone. We built this redstone clock that looked like a real cool lighthouse. We use the agent. We use code to program the agent. We start out with the Microsoft basic code, and students that are more advanced will learn basic JavaScript or Python, which is pretty cool because you have kids graduating high school that don't know JavaScript or Python. A lot of fun. We actually played in an international match against the South African champions this year. So we represented the United States against South Africa in an international friendly build competition. So that was a lot of fun. We also did a League of Literacy event where we built a world based off a book. We have trophies for both 5th and 6th grade championships on the League of Literacy also. I also do the Adventure Club. Mr. Luna's been out there, Miss Alvarado, Miss Jensen, Mr. Karen. We've all at least been out there to at least one of these. We'll go out like on Saturdays. We'll go to Woodward Park. Last weekend, we went out to Stevenson's Falls, up to, it's like this waterfall. We go to the snow up at Tamarack Park on Saturdays. All of this, sometimes we go just because we want to go, but other times it's a part of Saturday Academy, which I do those every Saturday also. I love Baird. It's a really cool spot. Miss Alvarado was my 5th grade teacher, so she knows that I can't get through this meeting without telling you guys that. And Mr. Luna was my teacher also, so it's a total trip. I'm pretty sure you guys, they put something special in the water at Baird. It keeps you young forever, looking like these here. So really cool place to be. I do have a link for you guys that's going to be going into the chat. We are out of here before 7:30, which is great, right? What I'll do, I'm not sure if you guys, are you able to see the chat or I'm not sure what's the deal with that.
The chat doesn't open.
Okay, so then it's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but in that previous meeting that you guys were in, if you look on the Teams icon, like in the chat, right, like all the chats that you guys have, you should still be able to see that old chat. The link is also in there. I did send it to this chat, but I don't know, if you're able to find it. But if you click on the Teams icon, open up Teams like the regular, what it looks like. On the left side where it says chat, you should see the new student/parent virtual orientation. The link is also in there. So it would be ideal if you did kind of do that. I can unmute the chat, or I can unmute you guys if we can just kind of like, not all talk at the same time. That'd be ideal. But if you guys could try to find that form, it would be awesome. So I've allowed the mic if you want to just like raise your hand. if there's anything kind of going on. Like a lot of stuff is at back to school night. This is really just, like a short kind of thing. Nadine?
Mr. Mertens, sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
I did just put it in the main session chat, so it's the last
cool.
thing in there. So families, if you guys want to click back to the chat for that, you guys will see the form. I am also going to email it out to all of you guys later this evening and first thing in the morning. So if you cannot find the chat to say that you participated this evening, don't worry, we will put it and get it out to you guys. It'll also be on the Baird website starting tomorrow as well.
Sweet, thank you. I had intended on sending a different one for your guys' questions. That way we can just respond via email. But if we don't have a chat, that makes it kind of difficult. But you guys, if you want to take off. It sounds like you're able to get that link. But if you want to stick around to ask a question, that's fine. And Paul, George, Alyssa, Ellie, if you guys want to bounce, I'm down. I can answer the questions either way. Kind of works. Nadine. See, I see that your microphone is lit up, but I'm not hearing a question. Can we go to Savina in the meantime? Savina?
Okay. What do you want?
Yep, we can hear you. Okay, how about, is it really having trouble with your name? Evette. Birch, looks like.
Hi. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So, about the PE part. So, is it gonna be like an hour long or just like how long? Like 20 minutes or just 40?
Every one of our blocks runs about an hour and a half. So in that hour and a half, you'll have time to go into the locker room, change into your PE clothes, report for roll. We exercise, we do activities, then you dismiss you back to the locker room, you change back into your clothes, and then you go to your next block. So PE, every one of your blocks will be about an hour and a half long.
Okay, thank you.
Pretty good question. Nadine, did you want to try again? Yeah, still nothing. Sorry about that. How about Jacqueline L?
I have a question about block 8.
Okay.
So like whenever you have the like cooking / baking one, like who's the teacher for that?
So that'll be all, you'll get that information right when the school year starts. Sometimes teachers will change. I know that Miss Limon, she mentioned that she does it. I know that Mrs. Caruso has done it before, also Mr. Wilkins. So it kind of depends on the school year. Right at the beginning of the school year, we can get that answer for you, okay?
And
Uh-huh.
are you allowed to leave like after like they've like answered your question?
Oh yeah, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yep, you're good. Thank you. Audra?
Just a minute. Just a minute. No. Bad dog.
Audra, let's see. Audra R.
How do I know my student ID? Because I was putting the name as my mom's.
Okay,
Because,
what I would do, are you talking about for the form?
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if you don't know your student ID, probably just put zeros, to be honest. They can probably find you. If you don't
How
know
many
it, don't worry.
numbers are in the student ID?
6 numbers. Have you ever been on Atlas?
Excuse me?
I might
I
know how to
can-
get the ID actually.
Okay. If you've been on Atlas, it would be on there. If not, then don't even worry about it, okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. How about Isabella? Isabella
I
V.
was gonna ask, do we have a homeroom that we report to every morning?
Uh, yes and no. You kind of have a homeroom because there's a class where you'll get all the most important information, but you won't go to the same class every day. If that
Okay.
kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Isabella V. Vallejo. Yeah.
I just wanted to know if you guys could guess what my siblings are. I have a sister and a brother.
Is James one of them?
Yes.
Kylie. Is it Kylie?
Caitlin and James
Caitlin?
Vallejo.
Oh,
There you
no,
go.
we had a Kylie though.
All right, we're excited to meet you also. Carson?
Okay. If we have a IEP for special things, when will that happen?
So I know Mr. Ayers is in charge of all of that. He would be the point person to talk to. Definitely start with him. I would definitely not want to give you incorrect information. So Mr. Ayers, Justin.Ayers at Fresno Unified.
Okay. In your experience, if they're pulled out from class, is it usually the same class? How do they choose that? Do you know?
Yeah, depending on what.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns, I can answer that really quickly. So
Okay.
we are actually a push-in service for special education. So it's a co-teaching model. So they will have services within their classes. So we
Okay,
don't
great.
do pull out because we are middle school. So it's push-in services. Students are occasionally pulled if they have to do any testing or assessments or anything like that, then they might be pulled from classes. But we really try to pull students from either their PE or elective classes, none of their core classes.
Okay, that's what I was concerned about. Thank you.
Yep, of course.
You. How about Savina?
Okay, so I was wondering if like the cooking class and the Minecraft class will be in the same time period.
It is, but the cool thing about Blockade is that you get to choose 4 over the course of the year. So you might do Minecraft for one part of the year, you might do cooking for another part of the year, you might play disc golf for another part. So it is at the same time, but you'll get to do more than one. You'll get to do 4.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you got it. Jack? Jack M?
Yeah.
What's up, Jack?
So is there like an exact specific time we're supposed to get onto school campus?
Ideally, you would get there around 8:50. That way you can use AST. Our
Yeah.
first class starts at 9:10. So, right in that range would be perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
All right, real quick. Okay, I know some of these guys have been waiting for a little while. So was that Abigail? I'll call you after I call the rest of the ones with their hands up, okay? Gianna?
Where do like the parents how there's like a thing that like parents have to sign? Where would you find the form for it?
Okay, so that would be Mrs. Reeve in the office. She will have that paper. I imagine that we can also get that out to you in an email. But I do know Mrs. Reeve is going to be the one to contact about that one. She'll be in the main office.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Jose? Jose D?
I was wondering if you knew my sisters that went to Baird.
Let's see. I'm looking for your camera. I'm not seeing you.
Oh, do I need to turn on my camera?
But I think I'll have a better chance of guessing. And you said sisters?
Yeah, 2 sisters.
Is it Elise Diaz?
Yes.
I see it.
Wait, I would say 2 sisters, but she came in 6th grade, so.
Oh, okay. That might be
Well,
harder.
we're excited to have you. She's great.
Brylan or Brylan. Brinley. Sorry, Brinley.
Blockade thing, and what days of the week is it?
That's every day, Monday through Friday. You get 40 minutes of fun at the end of the day. All right. Mark?
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to greet you, everyone. So my question is about the homework. I heard that in Baird there's a lot of homework, and even I heard that there's like 13 pages per day. They will have 13 pages like A4 format of homeworks. I would like to know your opinion. What you can say about that?
No, yeah, I'm not sure where you got that information. They'll read 30 minutes per night. It won't be any more than an hour of homework per night. And that would be on a more heavy day, right, Miss Alvarado, Mr. Luna, would you say that, definitely not more than an hour of homework?
So I would say years ago at Baird that may have been true. But there's been a real shift in the last couple of years that we're trying to have all homework or all work done in class and with very, very little outside of the classroom. So that, there'll be a little bit, but there's definitely not a ton. I would say more often than not, I don't assign homework unless the only homework really is if the kids don't finish in class, and we usually give enough time for it to get done, but there's always those kids that need extra time. So that would be their homework, but no, it's really changed over the last couple of years.
Thank you very much. And my next question will be like, what kind of sports there are after the classes? If my son decides to enroll in the sport, so what kind of options there is? I mean the classes that starts after the PE class that starts after the main class.
Well, all of our after-school sports programs are the traditional sports programs, so you'll have a chance to try out for tennis, track, volleyball, basketball, softball, baseball. We do have a football program, but because we don't have a large enough enrollment at Baird to field a football team, we combine with Tenaya. But as a fifth grader, he will be expected to compete against middle school students. So it's very difficult to make some of the teams as a fifth grader because some of the sports are cut sports. For example, the baseball coach is only allowed to carry a certain amount of players. So generally he fills his roster with 7th and 8th grade players because of course he wants to field his team with the best chance of success. So I don't want to say that as a 5th and a 6th grader, he won't have a chance to make the team, he or she. They still have a very good opportunity because, of course the coach wants to kind of have like a program for the kids to build their skills so that they will play varsity eventually. But we do have a few sports at Baird that are no-cut sports that every student that goes out, because we want to give the fifth graders an opportunity to participate in athletic programs. So there are a few sports that are no-cut. One of them is cross country, which begins at the very beginning of the school year. So your child can go out for that and automatically make the team. There's also a wrestling program that takes all students and a track program. Track team that takes all programs. So they will have an opportunity to play athletics, but as I mentioned, some of the very competitive sports is very difficult for 5th and 6th graders to make the team because they are competing as middle school students. So they're going to have to play against 12, 13, and in some cases 14-year-olds.
And that is going to be every day?
Well, pretty much throughout the year, there is always a sport in season. So whatever season it is, whatever sports will be. I know they start with track and golf that they're at the beginning of the season. Right now, volleyball and track are ending. So it depends what the season is. Just like professional sports play at a certain time of the year, school sports do the same thing. So at certain times of the year, certain sports will be available.
I understand, but even for that specific time, they will be having the after-school PE class every day, or just a couple days of the week.
No, there is no PE after school. All of the programs after school are volunteer. Your student goes out, attempts to make a team. That's the after-school stuff. PE is held during school hours.
Yeah, they would have practice every day based on the sport. Mr. Walsh, his email is tim.walsh@fresnounified.org. He will probably give you the best information regarding sports and as much detail as you kind of need, okay? But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it. Peyton? A-N-W?
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I just want to say that I'm excited to go to Baird and learn and go to all the classes and just be there. Cause from my sister, I've heard a lot of good things from Baird, so I'm really excited to go.
And would that be Caitlin?
Kaylin?
Who's your sister? Is it Caitlin? No?
Yeah, Kaylin.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Kaylin.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
great.
we're really excited to
Awesome.
meet you and to have you as a student.
Yeah, we'll be happy to have another West Head.
Thank you. Savina?
I was wondering if you guys could guess who my sisters are.
Kayla, right?
No.
Or M?
Is it Malaya?
Malaya.
Yeah.
That's the name.
And there's an older one too. Malaya and can't remember your older sister's name. There's an older sister.
Yeah.
So Malaya, yeah. Malaya was my right hand all through Baird. Still is.
Olivia?
What's your older Olivia?
Is it Olivia?
Olympia.
Olympia, man.
Olympia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How old? She's old. How old is she now?
She's 17.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, great. Well, excited to have you.
Super excited. Mauli?
Wooly.
How much time do we have between classes?
So after your first class, you'll get a 10-minute break. After that, you have 4 minutes. So you get out of class, you head to your next class.
Which means we have 4. By the time
Yeah.
I get the kids out of the room and I run across campus to the bathroom and get back, the bell rings. It's a sprint.
Yeah,
That's
you
like
really?
seeing Mrs. Alvarado running through campus to the bathroom.
You really? Last name Mondahano?
That looks like Armando's little sister.
Yep. Armando's little sister.
I was gonna say if you guys knew my brother, but you already figured it out.
The
AJ.
whole district knows your brother. Very cool. So I think I see Lila. I see your actual hand.
It's Lila.
Lila.
Yes. I was wondering if for sports, if they had cheer there, because my mom and my brother told me about there was, but for the sports, I didn't see it on there, so I was just wondering.
I know that this year we do have cheer. I'm assuming that that's continuing. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Lila,
But
yes, we
we
do
do.
have cheer, but it's a block 8 class, so you'd have to sign up for that one during block 8. Okay, it's not after school, it's actually during block 8 that we do cheer.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you've got to be Lucas's sister.
Are we allowed to leave the meeting?
Oh yeah, you're good.
All right. Have
Yep.
a good.
You're welcome. This is just for people who have questions. Everybody else can go.
Okay.
Except for Mr. Morales. He has to stay here to the end.
Hi.
You have to be the last one to log out, Mr. Morales.
Bye, everybody. Nice meeting you.
Hey.
Thanks so much for
Yeah,
coming.
Aaron, you'll have your daughter. That's gonna be special. Very special. Mr. Mertens will have his daughter there in no time too.
Oh,
all right.
man.
Can I leave?
Yeah, you are good to go, guys. If you want to
All
go
right.
right now, that's perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna head out. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
We're done. Sabina, you going to hang around the rest of the night? Go bug Olympia or Mariah.
So I was wondering, how does like my dad sign like the link?
Here, I will send it to you directly, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Mertens. Great job, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Erica?
So I just wanted to know, what's the safety plan that the school has to implement in case of a emergency?
So that's definitely a Miss Upel question. Are you there, Miss Upel?
Yes, definitely. Erica, what type of incident are you talking about? Because we do fire drills, we do active shooter drills on campus with our students. We do a lot of the drills that all the districts do. And we do those quarterly so that students are aware of what's going on.
Talking to us specifically to the Uvalde situation in Texas.
Yeah, so we do active shooter drills on campus. So that is something that within the first quarter of school, students will participate in that so they know exactly what to do. And
How
then
about
within
for parents?
Yeah, so that what happens is parents also would get a messenger from the district. Our communications department sends all that information out if anything like that happens.
So if anything happened to close to the situation, you guys would not advise for parents to go to the school just to wait for that message coming in from Fresno Unified?
Yeah, that's what is the Fresno Unified Standard. So that way that any emergency personnel can get to campus as quickly as possible and they don't have any congestion within the parking lot outside the school. So they do ask that parents wait for communication, and then there will be sites and places for parents to pick up their student directly.
Thank you.
Of course. And great question. I know that's on a lot of people's minds these days.
Right. Did anyone, Christine, Matthew, did you guys have questions? All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording and head out of here. Thank you so much, Miss Upel.
Good night, and thank you, Mr. Mertens.